Welcome to the Say It With Your Chest podcast, the place where real talk meets real life. I'm your host, Alicia, and if you're new here, get ready for unfiltered conversations, raw opinions, and a whole lot of truth. And if you've been rocking with me, you already know we don't sugarcoat anything over here. This is a space where we talk about everything: relationships, life lessons, trending topics, and the stuff that people are too scared to say out loud. Nothing is off limits, and every voice matters. So get comfortable, turn the volume up, and let's get into it.
In Homewood, Alabama, a routine night at a local park turned into a legal battleground that has lasted nearly a year today. We're looking past the headlines. We're looking for the truth. It's a quiet Monday night in one of Birmingham's most affluent suburbs. A routine patrol at a local soccer park ends in a single gunshot. Within minutes, 18-year-old Jabari Peoples is dead. The police call it a justified shooting. His family calls it an execution. Tonight, we're looking at the evidence, the autopsy that shocked the community, and the secret video at the center of a legal firestorm. The official story starts with a smell. Homewood police say a veteran officer smelled marijuana coming from a parked car. When Jabari steps out, the officer allegedly saw a handgun in the door. A struggle followed. Police say Jabari knocked the officer down and went for the gun. Fearing for his life, the officer fired once. But the narrative shifted weeks later. Renowned civil rights attorney Ben Crump joined the family, revealing the results of an independent autopsy. The findings: Jabari was shot in the back. If Jabari was reaching for a gun and facing the officer, how did the bullet enter from behind? That's the question that sparked protests across Jefferson County. By August 2025, District Attorney Danny Carr made it official: no charges. He claimed the body cam footage clearly showed Jabari with a gun in his hand. But the family's lawyers pushed back, calling the footage they were shown edited and incomplete. It took a court order in September to force the state to hand over the full unedited video to the family's legal team. Jabari Peoples was a college student with his whole life ahead of him. Whether he was a threat or a victim depends entirely on which version of the story you believe and what that video truly shows. Alabama law makes it notoriously difficult for the public to see police footage. Does that protect officers or does it hide the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're keeping a close eye on the civil lawsuit as it moves forward in 2026.
Jabari Peoples was shot in the back. Number two, that Jabari Peoples was shot running away. And number three, Jabari Peoples never pointed anything at the police officer. We know those three things. We also know that he was roughed up, that there was more to this interaction than what has been provided. We know that apparently even based on the district attorney's comments that there was a struggle, that they were on the ground. We don't know what precipitated that struggle. We don't know what was said, and the family feels they have a right to know everything that happened that led up to him being shot in his back, running away. We know that there is a demand for all of the evidence that now is in the possession of the city of Homewood as we understand it. And we want all of that to be released. Obviously, this family don't understand why it took 6 weeks to release the video. You had the video from day one. If you felt it was justified, why didn't you just release it day one and not put the family through this pain and suffering on top of pain and suffering? We are always fighting for equal justice. We are always fighting for transparency. We're always fighting to say whatever you do when a police officer is not involved, you release the video. Why do you change the rules when it's a police involved shooting? Please continue to keep this family in your prayer, because this is not an open and shut case. We believe that there's more video out there, whether it's the park surveillance video, whether it's dash cam video, or whether it's the rest of the body cam video, that is going to give us information that is so desperately needed to understand why this tragedy took place.
Let me start by saying this. Number one, the video was shown, and the video was shown. I'm one of the few law enforcement officers or DA around here that will show a video. I do that for a reason. I do that because I believe in transparency, and the purpose of showing that video is not to make somebody feel good. Whatever's in that video is not going to make you feel good.
At all.
The purpose of showing that video is for people to know what happened at that moment. That's what purpose of.
Okay.
And I made that clear to the family before I showed it to them.
Okay.
All right?
So the family was there.
So
their attorneys are there.
So the family came. Mom and dad decided they didn't want to watch it, so they sat outside. The rest of the family members came, and some other individuals. So I allowed a multitude of people in. His lawyers, civil attorneys and criminal attorneys, whoever, and Mr. Crump, they all were there as well. I allowed them in, and they watched it as well.
Okay.
They watched that video about 5 times, and I kept running back, letting them watch it again. Watch it as many times as you need to. That was the raw footage. The raw footage was about maybe close to 5 minutes, right at 4 minutes and something. And the raw footage is when he actually turns the camera on.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
He turns the camera on, and when he turns it on, what it shows is he has Jabari at the back of the truck that they're in, kind of at the back. His hands on the car. And you hear him say, hey, if you move again, man, you're going to eat this concrete, or something like that. And then as he's trying to put the cuffs on, then there's a scuffle. And there's a scuffle between those two, and they fall to the ground. That scuffle goes on maybe for about 10 seconds, or something like that. And then you see Jabari get up, and the door to the driver's side was still open. Jabari gets up, and instead of running left to run away, he ran to the door, reached in the car, got a gun, and when he got that gun, the officer was right there, and he shot him. And when he fell on the ground, the gun was still in his hand.
So when Jabari fell, the gun was still in Jabari's hand.
Yes.
The gun he got out of the passenger side,
The driver's
side of the
Yes.
car. Okay.
Yes.
So
And
you saw you can see the.
You can see it clear as day.
Okay.
And let me say this as well, because I want to also divulge some information that was in the reports.
Okay.
Okay. In the reports, the officer was patrolling that area. Homewood had got information about people being on that park late at night and all this stuff. They pull up. That officer pulls up alone. He's in a car. He's in a marked unit with a uniform on.
So he did have a uniform on.
Per the reports, he had. This part is in the reports. He's in a marked unit with uniform on. Pulls up, walks up to the car. Jabari and the young lady is in the car. Jabari's in the driver's seat. Young lady's in the passenger seat. They're in like an SUV model. When they pull up, he walks up to the car. Obviously, in the reports, they said the windows were up. Told him to let the windows down. They let the windows down. He could smell marijuana. He asked him about that. The girl said, yes, we do. She pulled a mason jar that had marijuana in it. Gave it to him.
So there was a mason jar with some marijuana in it.
Gave it to him.
Gave it to the police
officer.
officer. Okay.
Yeah. He put it on top of the car. And you can
Okay.
still see that marijuana on top of the car in the video.
Okay.
The whole time. It's on top of the car. Then he gets him out the car. And when he gets him out the car, She's on the passenger side. Jabari's on the driver's side. And then that's when you see the body cam kicks on at that point. And that's when they back up and you see him trying to put the cuffs on Jabari. And then that's when all the tussling started. And instead, as I said in my statement, I believe that is a good young man that made a bad decision. If he had ran to the left and just ran on that field with no weapon, and that cop shot him, we'll be having a different conversation today.
Okay.
Having a different conversation. Once you grab that gun, after fighting with the police, right there in close proximity, the car was not that far from him at all. He grabbed the gun. It's clear. He reached in the car, grabbed the gun, and then before he can turn around, as he's motioning forward, I guess either finna go around the door, whatever he's about to do, he got shot. And when he got shot, he got hit in the lower back, and he fell, and the gun is still right there. And the officer immediately called for ambulance or whatever, back up. He see another officer come. They try to open his airways. They start doing, services to try to save his life, obviously. And the young lady comes out of the woods with her hands up. He tells the young lady to sit on the curb. She sits on the curb, and then you hear her say, Jabari, why you do that? We're going to get in that kind of trouble. Why you do that? She says that. The young lady says that.
You can hear this in the video.
It's on the video. You can hear it. Yes, you can hear it.
Did you get a chance to see any of the park surveillance, or did they show any of that video from the park, or was that wasn't needed? That wasn't even needed. Okay.
And I think what people have to realize, there's two components to this. There is a civil component where you're trying to sue the city to say that someone's civil rights were violated. There's a criminal component that obviously I'm involved in, and the question is this: whether or not a reasonable person, in this case a police officer, felt like he was in imminent danger of losing his life or being assaulted at that time.
So what would bring up about that, while you being a district attorney?
Right.
What would make you see that this officer feared for his life?
Well, there was just a scuffle in a dark park. The officer is alone out there. And then the guy who he just got the scuffling with runs to the car, which is close right there. Instead of running away, he runs actually to the car and reach in and grab a gun. The law don't require that officer then to wait and see what he's going to do with that gun.
That's not the law.
That's not the law.
So can you explain?
And let me explain even further. It's not even a law for a citizen to wait. Understand this.
Okay.
It's not even a law for a citizen that's not a sworn officer to wait.
Okay.
Right? So it's a heightened level of scrutiny when it's a police officer, but in reality, the reality is when he grabbed the gun, that changed the game, man.
Okay.
That's just the facts.
Where's the gun? Who has the gun now? Now that you have it, do you have the evidence?
No.
Who has the gun?
No. Aaliyah has the gun. They turn that into Homewood PD.
So Homewood Police Department.
Yes.
You won't even see the gun.
I saw photos of the gun, but what I did do, I did divulge to them while they were in there the make and model of the gun and the serial number that was in the reports. I told them that as well.
Okay. And what was the make and model of that gun?
It was a Glock 45.
Jesus.
Glock 45, and I gave them the serial number. Yeah.
Okay.
And that came from the reports.
Okay.
One of the lawyers asked me that. Just so happened that as I was reading the report, I jotted that down. And I gave them that information. And let me be clear. I don't know that officer. Never met him. Wouldn't know him if he walked in here now. I don't know Mr. Peoples. Never met him before this. So, in reality, my job was to look at the facts and apply those facts to the law and make a decision. That's it.
Yeah, and you went strictly by what the law says.
Strictly by the law. The law says that, and let me just tell you, stand your ground in Alabama.
Okay.
The law says that if you reasonably believe, number one, that you're going to be even assaulted in the first or second degree, you can use deadly physical force.
Assaulted.
Assaulted in the first or second degree, you can use deadly physical force. That's what it says. It also goes on to say that if you reasonably believe that deadly force is about to be used on you or others, you can use deadly physical force. The key term is it reasonable at that time? Just got into a scuffle, dark park, two people out there. You know a gun is right there. He reached for that gun. He takes possession of that gun. Is that reasonable to believe that deadly force is about to be used on you?
Wow.
Is that reasonable? That's the question.
Right.
And that's not an emotional circumstance. That's just a factual circumstance that we had on our hands that we had to deal with.
When you